Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick-and-mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I'm passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love, because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you are meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go.
So I went back to work, and if by Friday I would feel sensations of like overwhelm, like there would be times I would show up on Friday and I'd have to be in like soft clothing. This sounds ridiculous, but like sweats, and I'd have to have the lights off, and I'm like, I screwed up my week. If I can't handle lighting and like tight, like I screwed up. So
Wow.
like it took me a bit to figure out what are my signals of like, you're taking on too much. These are, if you've had really bad boundaries, I used to have really bad boundaries. You're right. To your point, I wanted to be of service. I wanted to be available. I wanted my business to thrive. I wanted people to get well. And like, so I built a business where I was a doctor by day. I was running circles by night. I was doing them so often. And then I was coaching clinicians worldwide. And you're like, this is amazing. I'm so excited. And I can't make more me. And I'm in serious trouble here. And it really came at a consequence that my body held. And 5 years later, like fully, every year I feel better and better and better. And so what I want to tell people is like, and I've been saying it a lot on social media because I think it's important. It's like, we do heal and it takes time. If it took what, 15 years to create that monster?
Yeah, now you have to undo it.
That's right. So like there is the reality that you are going, and you've got to like bash your way forward. Oh, oops, you know what? I should have said no there and I said yes. Oops, I didn't set a boundary there and I should have. Oops, I answered that call on a weekend and I really wanted to unplug and do art or whatever the thing was. Like, we are going to kind of bounce our way towards progress, but we do heal. And I honestly feel better at 45 than I felt at 20. That is no exaggeration. Like, I feel so grateful for those moments. I'm very lucky there was no like major consequence with doing that, but they were very informative, and it allowed for me to become very intentional. It allowed for me to then look at who I was serving and seeing how many of us are burnt out. And as a result, not really feeling the aliveness in our life, right?
That's a great term, like the aliveness, the aliveness in your life, aliveness in your business.
100%. You lose that, right, in burnout. And so the breath work and the tools that we can use for burnout and wanting to heal our nervous system and help our nervous system respond appropriately to stimulus. What happens is that when we're in a chronic state of stress, and that stress, the body doesn't know the difference from being chased by a bear, emails, Canva, or deadlines. It doesn't know.
Yeah.
It secretes cortisol no matter what. So there's no, like, your body doesn't have like discernment, like this feels like an Ali 20 stress versus, no, it's cortisol, 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 cortisol. So what happens is that our nervous system loses this flexibility. It's constantly in fight or flight. And now we're seeing everything as danger, right? And so that's the problem. And the reason I brought in breath work and started doing different things was like, I want to help titrate the women and the humans I serve. It's been really fun to serve men in Benchmark too, and in Shed, because I don't often treat men. It's been wonderful. They're so receptive and amazing, actually. I want to titrate them to normalizing sensations so that when an email happens, that their body goes, yeah, okay, my heart rate went up a little bit, but like, it's an email. It's not the tiger.
Yeah.
Right? That's a resilient nervous system. It's not, can I find my calm? No, it's having this level of resiliency of being able to do the thing or feel the stress and bounce back just as quickly so that we don't end up in burnout. It's the persistent level of cortisol, the persistent perception of stress that leads us to burnout. Mm-hmm. And it's the nervous system flexibility piece is what helps our nervous system, which was always meant to move from both sides, move back and forth more efficiently and to have better discernment of what's actual stress.
Yeah.
And like I was saying this morning in a masterclass, like even our language has become so catastrophic, right? Like we're like, what you're doing is amazing. It's like, well, maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe it's just work. But because everything is so like grandiose, we've kind of even lost perspective with our language that we're living at a level that's so hyperbolic all the time. Like, of course, your nervous system is overrun. Whereas we really want to have this like nuanced perspective, this like ability to move back and forth. And I think breathing has been such a powerful tool that I've wanted to implement. Cold plunging, exercising, red light, all of these tools, building in white space, letting yourself be bored. You know what's really
So what
cool?
do you do when you're bored?
Well, you feel bored. Do you remember being bored as a little girl?
This thing, like, not really.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay, so I've
probably been like this since the beginning of time.
that's why you haven't burnt out yet. You're a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, doing a lot of things, no problem.
Yeah. But so and it's about finding this beautiful balance. It's like you are who you are. We don't want to take that away from you, but how do we help make sure that we're directing all of your precious resources in the right direction versus like way too much going on. And then as a result, Allie's lost in the mix of it, right?
It's interesting. Like, I wonder what I would be like if I didn't own a gym, because that to me it's a non-negotiable, that is protected time.
Yeah. What would you do?
I'm not sure. I would still for sure exercise, but it would not be as fluid in a day because I'm already in the gym, whether it's teaching a class, coaching small group training, coaching a one-on-one client, or just being present in my brick and mortar and being in my community, that I spend many hours a week at Benchmark Fitness at my gym. So it is a natural evolution in my day for me to then put my headphones on or grab my tripod and go train by myself or with a trainer. And I love that. And I really try to not book appointments. I try not to rush myself. Like, my workout time block is pretty hefty, which any additional time once I'm done my workout is Benchmark community building time. There's always something for me to do in my space. And I wonder sometimes, like, what would that be like if I didn't have that? Because that for me is such a nervous system control, even though it's not calming, whether it's I'm in zone 5 for some things or zone 2 or 3, and it's exertion and fight or flight in a different way, but yet it also brings me peace. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I mean, exercise is a fabulous tool for resiliency. So even if it's intense or like you're going to get great benefit, it's probably what protects you, to be honest.
But yet I also am an achiever. Be like, I'm just gonna put this plate on and see if I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try one more pull up to see if I can hit 6 today versus 5 as my last personal best.
Yeah. And in saying what I'm saying, because that comes natural to you, that's not really nervous system supportive to you. It would be to me, because you know me, I'm like, I'll pick the 25-pound weight. And you're like, no, you won't.
No, you won't.
Right. So I need work on that. Whereas you're like, what would probably be good things for you is to start your day in quiet or stillness.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you probably want to crawl out of your skin, but that's exactly why we do it.
I'm like, why am I itchy?
Yeah.
My wrist is itchy.
Right. But like, also, if you provided that for yourself, like, how much more creative would you be?
Do you want to hear something horrifying? The last yoga class I went to, it was Kayla's class at Benchmark. I made notes on my phone the whole class. Whole class. It was not calming at all. I sat in a dark room, pigeon pose, 3 minutes a leg. Perfect time for me to make notes.
Yeah.
But in also a weird way that was helpful for me to like do something calming. I know I'm completely doing the opposite by triggering my mind to make all these notes. But I probably, in some twisted way, would have come out of that class feeling more stressed if I didn't just get it out of my mind.
I was going to say, actually, I don't. Yeah, some people actually have to do that surrender before bed, even.
Yes,
like you probably someone
And
who
I'll
has to
tell
write
clients
your ideas down so that you can be like, I'm at peace, everything's there.
Yeah.
I can go to bed now. Like I think we're all different. I think that's what's fun about learning about nervous system tools is that there's so many available to us. I used to really love cold plunging.
Yeah,
it was one of my favorite things. We have one in our backyard. I love cold plunging, but now my resiliency for the cold for long durations is a lot shorter than it was. I think body fat probably has something to do with that if I were a guessing person, but I used to be able to lie in that thing for like 5 to 7 minutes. And the thought of doing that now, I just like, I can't. But doing contrast from my hot tub to my cold plunge, that immediately shifts my state. And I say this all the time. Like, I go from being like corporate Michelle, like all like so like bah, 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 to doing one round of like contrast hydrotherapy. And then I'm like in the present moment and I look at my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm married. Like, I like you. And like, I am a wife and I'm a family member. And it's like, I am like a monster and such like and I don't mean that mean, but I mean, like, I'm just so out, like, so
I could be like that
entrepreneurial
before a workout.
and then I do that. And yeah. So see, we all have our tools.
Yes.
So I don't want to take your tool away from you. And I also want to grow you in your capacity for tools, because different stressors are going to require different interventions to get that nervous system regulation to have that resiliency. So it serves you in many respects, but something's going to hijack, something will, and you'll need another tool where you'll need breath, where you'll need to like get into your body, where right. And like actually move emotion in a different way. And so we want to have various tools in order to be able to do that.
Okay, so hypothetically, if you were, let's say, a high-achieving individual in business and you were recently told that you need to focus on recovery, again, hypothetical.
Right.
What would you say to this hypothetical entrepreneur who needs these things?
I would actually, so I'd be super curious to ask this hypothetical woman who might be sitting beside me, I would really want to know how your day looks and understand how you're operating, and then what your hobbies are. A lot of the things that we do in Wild Collective are of these natures. It's like, what do you desire? Like what feels like relaxing to you? Like, how do we build that in? When I started to notice I was healing, I was waking up to my life and I was like, I'm so lucky this is my life. Nothing about my life changed, but the way I saw it changed.
I love
so
that.
It's like, so what sort of things? Is it slow coffee in the morning, right? Because yes, we'd all love to be able to have beach vacations, but like that's not always the case and it's not always accessible. So how do we build a beautiful life into the day-to-day so that there are moments of reprieve, right?
Yeah.
So then we start to learn that actually the resiliency can come from little micro moments. So I can do like a 10-minute breathwork session and feel like a brand new human, right? So, and it can be a lot less than that. It can be a lot shorter than that to get the benefit. Or it's like, you know what? I like the sun shining on my face. I like my hot coffee and I'm going to journal a little bit and I'm just going to see what comes up. And I'm going to start my day that way because that feels good to me. Or maybe it's snuggling your dog, right? Like animals are amazing. They apparently, like a dog wag and a cat meowing, purring is like the hertz of like a 500 frequency, which is the frequency of love. And like we're energetic beings. So even being in the presence of an all loving animal like a dog is very healing, right? So building in maybe those runs with your dog do something for your soul that running at the gym can't provide. So
Totally.
yeah. So like it's truly like we need to figure out what works for you. What does your life look like? What are you willing to do in order to make sure that you're doing everything possible for recovery? And it would even be look like do your muscles hurt? Are you stiff? Like, do we actually need to focus on the physical body? Do you feel anxious? Do you have a hard time falling asleep? Do you feel rested when you wake up? And so then we personalize the approach based on how it presents for you. So for me, it was like, if Fridays were frazzled, then I would say, okay, good information. I'm not going to blame myself. I am who I am. And I'm learning to shift from that version of myself. But what do I want next week to look like? How do I want to feel? Okay, so maybe I shouldn't have said yes to all those new patients. Maybe I could hand that off to my associate because she's awesome and like we could share this. Okay, that's a good solution. Okay, so what if on the days that I'm not in clinic, what if I gave myself an hour to be creative? And all of a sudden these things start gardening for me.
I was going to say, gardening is huge for
like
you.
being I stopped baking. I love baking. I never made sourdough. I never had a garden. All in that whole burnout recovery piece, I started doing things that were so feminine and so out of my comfort zone and wheelhouse. And they made me so happy to stand in my garden and get my hands dirty, to watch like
something grow.
it tells you everything about how life works too. And then there's like this real,
It's like very poetic.
it has to die and be reborn, right? Just like we do. And so I think you start to learn this natural cyclical rhythm, and you start to participate in your life differently and build in more moments that are, sustainable and like nourishing. Yeah, I don't know, but like making my family sourdough so deeply satisfying. Like, I never tell them about my successful launches. They don't care.
Yeah.
I maybe care. The metrics are fun, but like serving my family fresh sourdough, I feel like I am like superwoman. Why? What is that? And I've spent years kind of thinking about why does that?
What's your love language?
I don't know.
Have you read that book?
Yeah, I know. I haven't read that.
Oh my
book.
God, everyone needs to read that book. I actually think it's wonderful to read in partnership. I think also if someone is single, it is good to read because then you sort of know that about yourself.
Yeah.
Because you receive love in a way, but then how you give love might look differently, let alone how do you give love to your partner?
Yeah.
And what do they want? So like someone like Matt, my husband, sure everybody likes gifts, but that is not his love language. Yeah. He would be much more excited about honestly, like me emptying the dishwasher as a surprise to him, act of service and quality time. So knowing that I love words of affirmation, I get a Google review for Benchmark. Oh, happy clam. You tell me something nice that makes me feel really good. And that's like, I feel loved. And you can obviously layer that in deeper in terms of like the scale in which someone tells you a words of affirmation statement. But that would be a good book to read, especially on your healing journey. In terms of how you love to make sourdough for your family, that's a beautiful act of service. But maybe your daughter's like, honestly, I would really just love like a Lululemon gift card.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah, like
you nailed it.
I am gifts. I would like a gift.
How do you know my 13-year-old?
Yeah,
so well.
I have a girlfriend like that. Her husband will surprise her, whether it's like a surprise gift or anniversary, like with beautiful jewelry or a set from Aloe, and she is very much gifts, and he knows that, so he will align that with certain things. Like, she loves gifts and I love my wife, and so I'm going to do this for her.
Yeah. It is good information.
Again, it goes back to the data.
Yeah.
The 5 love languages. It's a data book. There you go. That's how I'm going to sell it to you.
Yeah. No, and it's important. And it helps you understand too, like what your tendencies are, right? Like, so.
Okay, so if we were to tie a bow on this for anyone listening, and hypothetically, if you needed to maybe also focus on recovery, hypothetically, of course, what is a good like parting words of wisdom that they could implement right now if they want to incorporate some white space or a slower pace in which they are operating in a daily and weekly basis? What would you say?
I would say, first of all, that no one gets to escape this. So it has to be a priority. It's something we do need to take seriously. It catches up with all of us. So we need to be very onerous of that. And then I would literally take a look at my typical day and look at what's actually possible, because there's so much frothiness and non-committal, like, oh, I'll do that. No. Like, we really do need to prioritize this, and we need to look at our actual life. And so for me, even something as simple as like when I wake up, sometimes I do just like breath work has been one, it's free. We all have to breathe anyways. So maybe we should just learn how to breathe. But I'll take a few activating breaths in the morning and just energize my body. And I'm like, okay, I got this. And I've just like found, like, I just feel so peaceful, calm in my body, present. Breath brings me presence. I think if we could be silent in the car when we drive and just let quiet do its thing.
I have tried to start doing some more quiet dog walks.
Yeah.
Especially with Riley, our Australian Shepherd, who is like a very active dog. So it also allows me to be more present with her training, but then trying to challenge myself because I love learning. I love podcasts.
Yeah.
And audiobooks.
And we want to balance that. But I think, to your point, something you've articulated, anything that can help you be in the present moment, right? Like anything that just brings you like, I'm here. That's going to give you that opportunity to start to like build that resilience, to recover, to find your peace and your calm. most often what happens is we're future tripping, or we're worrying about the past, or we're like thinking about all these things that are literally stealing our moment. And so if it's like hot coffee is usually sacred to most of us, but like sipping on that hot coffee and just like really enjoying it, just being in that moment. I think it gets to be so much simpler. It's nice when you're a member at Benchmark and you can hop in the cold plunge, because that does something for you, especially from a resiliency standpoint. But also it can be as simple of like writing all your thoughts down before bed so that you can go to sleep peacefully.
Yeah. Have a good quality sleep.
Yeah. Taking a deep breath when you wake up, hydrating, enjoying that hot coffee, and like literally trying to move through your day just a little bit more intentionally. That's how we stop ourselves from just like producing. It's a beautiful gift you have. It's all they're curse blessings, right? They're an asset and liability. And so we just want to learn to work with it, of like, and it's going to take some practice where you're like, oh, Allie, you said you weren't going to work this weekend. So we're going to just try and be bored. Okay, well, what does boredom mean? And your brain's going to do all these things. And it's an adventure. And it's about embracing that, to be like, oh, I survived. I didn't die. Great. Now I'm titrating myself towards sensations that boredom is okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like boredom is such a great opportunity for a brilliant mind, because you will create, because you will innovate, because your best idea is going to be found there. But you have to first provide the space to do that. So we start like little micro moments, because we don't want to flood the nervous system. That's why I love the word titrate.
I know.
We're going to titrate towards that for you. We like, a 10-minute breath work session is probably all we're going to get from you right now. Maybe 5.
Yeah.
That's okay, because it's more than you were doing, right? Or maybe it's like a slow moment, or it's like going to bed 10 minutes earlier and like using your red light. I think for the busy brains or people who don't like to still, I don't love meditation. I love breath work. Why? There's some active thing to it.
Moving in a different way.
Right. So that's easier for someone who, for me, quiet's really, really difficult.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Although I like being alone.
Yeah, love being alone.
But
Quiet.
yeah, just sit and just be quiet and still. I'd be like, this is boring. This is stupid. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do something, like literally the exact opposite.
Yeah. So even like just giving yourself the little micro moments and building up towards something more significant. So maybe the whole weekend was a little too much for Allie, because
try 20 minutes.
Yeah. Like I'm going to take 20 minutes where I don't do anything, and I'm just going to like see what comes up. I don't know. We're going to find
an
out.
Experiment.
Yeah. Like honestly, like I do think more things that make us creative, more things that are creative acts are really, really good for the busy brain. Because even like I started doing paint by numbers, things at at our trailer, like in the summer, like I started doing things that just like forced, like my arm was moving. So that was good.
Yeah.
But my brain, my mind was,
off.
yeah.
It's like coloring. Sometimes I have one of those adult crayon or coloring books. And sometimes I'll do that.
That's a good balance for a busy brain, because then it's like active and your brain's not going to hijack you and like how lame it is. At least it's somewhat active.
Yeah.
But there is this reprieve. So that no one gets to escape this, that we must take this seriously. And if you're blessed enough to have access to privatized health where you can assess data's super cool for nerds and everybody. But also starting to like titrate towards the opportunity of creating some, opportunity for your nervous system to learn how to move. Fight or flight is great, but so is rest and digest. So like, do you just take a pause before you eat? Do you stop eating in your car? Right?
Yeah.
All those things that are taking advantage of the fact that your body actually needs blood to digest food. So you can't drive and eat at the same time. You can't do that. Right? So these little things, can I take a breath before I eat my meal, and can I intentionally chew my food? Like there's so many ways we could build in opportunities for calm that would counter the
like habit stacking.
Yeah, totally. Which you love, right? Like we love a checklist. We love things like, and it feels good if we're stacking it. Great. Do it.
Yes.
Just do it.
Okay. I love this.
Yeah.
This is inspiring for me with my homework. If I was, of course, hypothetically needing to work on my
if you are that person, these are things one could consider.
Well, where can everyone find you, especially in person for breath work?
Yeah. Oh, at Benchmark.
Benchmark.
Yeah.
And Wild Collective.
Yeah. And the Poppy Clinic and Wild Collective. We're doing lots of fun things over there.
And then online.
MichellePeris.com and Dr. Michelle Peris on Instagram. And how about yourself?
In person, very easy to find at Benchmark Fitness in downtown Burlington, Ontario. And online on Instagram at Ali Aruda. And of course, our podcasts, which hopefully everyone listening and watching
Subscribe.
5-star
review.
5-star review.
Yeah.
Love a words of affirmation moment. This was great. I always love chatting health and wellness and everything. Really, actually, every topic with you. But I love you so much. Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you.
And thank all of you guys for listening, watching, and supporting both of our shows. And we will see you again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean so much to me if you took a few seconds and shared this on social media, sent it to a friend, or left a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I'm so grateful to have you part of mine.